Hey everyone, how's it going? Another crappy day of weather. So if you saw the DC Connect post about this, I will have introduced at least the basic idea of what I'm planning to do in this video. And I'm doing this mainly because I anticipate that many of you are not going to be able to make it to Wednesday's breakout sessions. In fact, so I'm actually recording this after the first breakout session where only about 5 of you showed up. Thank you so much to those of you who came. Also, thanks to those of you who notified me that you wouldn't be able to make it. Again, the main reason why I want you to notify me is because I just want to make sure that you're safe and everything's okay with you and that you don't need me for anything in particular, okay? But anyway, since we're not all going to be together to practice, we're getting up to, after reading week, it's going to be week 8, and we really have to start getting into some real counseling practice. Now that we've laid some foundations theoretically, and we've seen kind of the kinds of things to avoid in MI, when we start practicing reflections, and then when we come back from reading week, especially integrating those reflections into the engaging and then the focusing process, we're going to start to get a sense for what the video flow is going to be like. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically read off about, I think it's like almost 15 or more, just a bunch of possible client statements. Okay, so I'm going to read them off. I'm going to pause for about maybe 10 seconds in between each one. So you could pause the video if you want. Actually, I'll pause for about 15 seconds in between each reflection, okay, or between each client statement. Your job, okay, is going to be to provide a reflection to what I just said, okay? So I highly recommend, you don't have to do this, and I can't check if you're doing it, but I highly recommend for practice sake that you don't pause the video. Just try, okay? Give it a shot. Even if your reflection sucks, who's going to be watching you? I mean, assuming you're not practicing this in front of your friends and family or in front of anyone else, okay? No one's watching you. This is the perfect chance to pretend like you're reflecting something that someone has just said to you, okay? And if you want, try it again the next time, right? Like I said, there is no reflection that is the perfect reflection that you should only use. There's no one answer. Okay, it's not like one of those multiple choice things where you can only select one of them and it's the closest possible thing. Some reflections are better than others. Some are more accurate than others. Depending on the context, even a really huge overshoot can be the best reflection. In other contexts, it's a terrible idea because you haven't built enough rapport with the client yet. Okay? Anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to read off these reflections, and your job is going to be these statements, and your job is going to be to provide a reflection in response to each statement. Okay, so if you're ready, you can pause the video first, but please try for your own benefit. Okay, don't pause once we get going. Okay, I will give you about 15 to 20 seconds to come up with a good reflection. Okay, and here we go. I really want to start taking my medication again. You know, I think I should start taking my medication again, but I'm not really sure. Look, I'm just here because my girlfriend made me come here. Honestly, I can't take too much more of this anxiety. It's really freaking me out. Okay, so here's the thing. I've tried this AA thing a million times, and it just doesn't work for me. How can other people with drinking problems tell me what to do? Plus, I just get too damn nervous. Like, I get too scared to open up, and then I just clam up. This thing really isn't for me. Hmm. I really don't like obviously, what smoking crack is doing to my health, but honestly, it reduces my stress. It just takes the edge off. What do you know about being in recovery? You've probably never even had a drug problem or even touched hard drugs. I've tried to quit drinking so many times, and every single time, I relapse. It's not even funny. I can't imagine myself not having the damn phone on me all the time. It's part of who I am. It's how I escape. It just helps me get through the day. I can't even go to the washroom without having my phone. I really want to stop gambling, and I know there are good reasons to. I'm not stupid, but I'm just not ready. My gambling isn't that bad. I mean, look at what other people out there are doing. Mine's not that bad. If I don't stop drinking, I won't be able to qualify for the liver transplant, and I could die. I mean, look, I'll level with you. I don't mind being here, but I've never done anything like this before. Like, I don't even have serious, deep conversations with people. I've never had this kind of thing happen to me before. I don't know what to do anymore. It's like I do one thing, all these people get pissed off at me. If I do the other thing, all those people get pissed off at me. And I don't know if it's just that I like too many people. I actually care about what all those people think about me. I don't know what to do. There's nothing more in this world that I want. Okay, there's nothing more than just quitting smoking. I know it's the most important thing for me to do right now. I need to do it. It's been a long time coming, and should have stopped it yesterday, really, week before, month before, years before. I'm just terrified I won't be able to do it. Sometimes it feels like I'm just saying things and all he ever hears is just like what he wants to hear. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll be talking and talking and talking, and then I just hear something back from him, and it's like he's missed almost everything I was trying to tell him. I feel like I've just wasted my time. I mean, this is an amazing opportunity. This is great. I can't wait for it, but, well, yeah, it's a great opportunity. I'm just not sure about it. Okay, so we're back. So if you stuck with me through all those statements, and by the way, I really hope you tried. Okay, even if you failed miserably, you failed miserably. Any attempted reflection is a good reflection. Okay, you never fail at this. There are just increasing degrees of like therapeutic acuity and depth and proficiency. It's like any skill. You got to practice it over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, if you found something like this helpful, I'd be happy to keep creating sets of like 20 statements like this for you guys to practice on. This was something that was really helpful for me when I was training with one of my mentors in this field, Randy Unaka. So Randy teaches in the social service worker program. So some of you might know who he is. He's fantastic. He would create these kinds of videos for us, kind of similar. I've sort of changed up a bit how it works. So he would also provide the answer, or at least what he thought was the best reflection following the statement. I just like leaving it in your lap. Okay, I want you to practice on your own. Now, if you didn't just go all the way through without pausing, that's okay. That's all right. Next time, I want you to try it without pausing. Okay? So like, can I set this aside for a little bit and then come back? I promise you, okay, that if you practice things like this over and over again, if you build this skill of constructing a good reflection, it will benefit you more than any other counseling practice, any other skill that you develop in becoming a good counselor or a therapist. Okay? Counseling is not about asking questions, it's about conveying to someone that you've heard them, that you understand them. Okay? So I'm going to leave you with that. It would be awesome if you practice this. I mean, honestly, okay? So please take the time to do stuff like this. And like I said, there's another piece of homework that I want you to do. It's more kind of, kind of discreet, and I want you to just kind of incorporate reflections into your own personal life, okay? It's not going to be some weird manipulative technique or anything. It's actually just kind of being a good person. It's being a good listener, and it's practicing that at least once, okay? But there are more instructions about that on DC Connect, okay? So I hope this worked well. If you thought it was a good idea, let me know so that I can start kind of tallying all those votes from people telling me it's a good idea. I could release these videos for you easily once a week, okay? All the way up until your video. Okay, so anyway, thanks very much for following that, guys. And again, I hope that helped. And when we come back from reading break, please be ready. We are going to be doing, right off the bat, we are going to be kind of jumping into the fire here. We're going to be practicing the integration of engaging and focusing. So mainly engaging work, right? So just kind of getting that story from your client, but mainly focusing on building a relationship and then working towards a focus, some goal, something to zero in on, okay? And we're going to be doing that for about 15 minutes apiece, okay? Your actual video is closer to 25, 30 minutes, but we're going to work our way up basically every week, starting the week that we get back from reading week, okay? But the first step is to get this core skill down. I was hoping we could do it in class. Because of the weather, we're probably not going to be able to. In fact, I imagine most of you are not going to be able to show up later today for the 2 o'clock class, which, again, I don't blame you, but it is how it is. Anyway, okay, so thanks very much for listening, and I'll see you guys after the reading break. Bye.